Hey, and welcome back to Black Belt in Real Estate. This is season 3, and yes, this season will be just me. I might bring in a couple of guests, but on demand, I want to go a little bit more raw, a little bit more deep. Last 2 seasons was high-end production. We did all the episodes in one day, and that's awesome. But I want to be talking directly to you about what is going on in the real estate market right now. So this is going to be much more efficient, much more raw and real. And I'm recording from my office, so I can do it anytime I have a great topic to share with you. Just a little bit recap. I did answer some great questions in season 2, such as, is the housing market in Los Angeles going to crash? And for everybody who has been around, did it crash? No, it didn't. Also talked about how to find the best listing agent in Los Angeles. So if you're considering selling, check that out and kind of, get an idea. What are the questions to ask and what are you going to do in order to make sure that one of your most important assets gets sold by somebody that deserves your business and going to do a great job for you. Another thing for people out of LA, we did an episode of talking about what you need to know before moving to Los Angeles. Most people in LA have moved here at some point, so it's a great city to live in. The weather is great. There's so much opportunity and there's a lot of fun to do. So make sure to watch that episode if you're not from LA. Another very intense topic that has been something that a lot of people that are homeowners have been, asking is if they can determine their home value online on AVMs, such as, automated value models, such as, Redfin or the Zestimate or Realtor.com. And check out that episode because those online valuation models or AVMs are not always accurate because they are not hyperlocal and they have not been in your house. We also talked about why isn't my home selling? In the last year, a lot of properties sat on the market and it actually took expertise, knowledge, experience to sell a home, and not like the COVID era when everything's so like butter. And that's a good episode if your property is still in the market and you want to learn why it hasn't sold. Another fun episode we did was how to test your realtor's knowledge. So I always encourage, when I go to earn, trust in business, I encourage all of the coolest questions or the most hard questions. I want to almost, get warm and sweaty because I want to be able to make sure that somebody that I'm going to work with, that's going to be my client, feels totally comfortable and trust that I can get the job done. And another episode we did was how to buy your first investment property. So if you already own a home and you want to buy an investment property in LA, California, or in other states, you should check that episode out. But that was the last season. Let's talk about this season, this year, 2024. It's going to be an exciting year. And this episode is going to answer 2 things mainly. And that is, if you have been thinking about buying a home, here's the question. Should I buy a home in Los Angeles in 2024? That's number 1. Number 2 is I'm going to talk about what I believe are the biggest mistakes home buyers are going to do in 2024 and what you can do to avoid them. First of all, let's talk about real estate 2023. What really happened? Without going too deep on it, I'm happy to have a conversation one-on-one with you. Feel free to reach out to go really deep because LA is a big market. We need to narrow down your hyperlocal market. Are you looking at the beach in Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey, Westchester? Or are you a Palisades buyer? Or are you in Beverly Hills or Hollywood Hills? There's many areas, Brentwood. There's so many great pockets in LA. And even though markets are sometimes similar, there can be a lot of variation. Even price points vary a lot of what happened in 2023. But to make a long story short, there were less sales because, higher interest rates, but because we had such a low inventory, properties went up. Most of them went up in a slow pace, kind of liking, if you're jogging on the treadmill on like 3% uphill climb, you can barely feel that you're going up, but you can feel that it's a little bit harder. That was kind of what real estate did in Los Angeles in 2023. So it climbed for the most part. There were properties in the high end because of the, some of the new tax laws, such as Measure ULA, kind of brought a halt to that market. But overall, it went slowly up. So before we move into kind of what the biggest mistakes I think home buyers are going to do in 2024, let's talk about, where are the interest rates going? And I think that's a very, very hot topic. And, anybody that's going to tell you that they know exactly where interest rates are going, they're full of beep because nobody really knows. Not even the Fed knows. But here's the thing. They're going in the right direction. They have already gone down a little bit. And most people believe, most experts believe that they are going to go down in 2024 and in 2025. And what does that really mean? Let's just break it down. So when we talk about, the biggest mistake I believe that home buyers are going to make in 2024 is, the timing risk. A lot of people sat on the sidelines because rates went up so much, from 3% all the way to 8%. And it's totally understandable because your buying power went down. If you could afford, a $1 million house, now maybe you can afford a $300,000-$400,000 condo. And that's not exciting. So I totally understand that. And it's a real thing. Rates have come down a little bit. And I am, like, as we said, most experts are saying that they will go down. I tend to be very conservative when I talk about these types of things because I want you to be in a good position and being able to enjoy your life and not become house poor. But I do believe that if you wait until rates drop, in the low fives or even, high fours, which is, I think, pretty far away from now, there's going to be a hell of a lot more buyers. And what happens when the demand goes up, pricing goes up. And this is very basic, supply and demand. So what should you do? Should you wait for interest rates to go down in order to buy? I believe it's going to be hard for you to find the property you want when rates drop because there's going to be much more competition and you will end up paying more. If you're okay with that, I would say wait. If you can afford buying now, it might be wiser because in a couple of years, you'll refinance, you'll get a better monthly payment. And as long as you can afford it now, you will also gain equity. And, I think the challenge is I'm already seeing it. One property in Santa Monica had 17 offers. We're writing an offer on a townhome in townhome/duplex in Redondo Beach that they're going to probably have 10-ish offers. And there was one other property, I think, in Palisades that had 4 or 5 offers. So there's multiple offers are already back, even like anywhere from 1 to 3, 4 million. If they're priced right, good location, there are buyers out there. That being said, if rates were lower, there would have been even more buyer. So my opinion, if you can afford buying, it's a good time to look right now. Just factor in, the extra payments, and there are ways of getting. There are ways such as rate buy downs. Reach out to me and we can discuss that, so you can keep your monthly payments low. And there are always, techniques. There are seller financing. There are always opportunities. But even if there's not, if you can afford it, it might be worth start looking. Another mistake I think that a lot of buyers are, doing right now is waiting for prices to go down. And we're talking about Los Angeles here. You're in one of the most attractive cities in the world. There's always people coming here, and the demand far outweighs the supply. So most experts believe that prices will go up, not crazy, but they will go up. So houses will be more expensive in 1 or 2 years from now. I believe that myself, especially attractive properties. And I always believe that you should be careful when buying a property. You should look at all the data, and you should make sure that it's a good investment. But timing wise, I think it might be a good time right now. Ideally, a couple of months ago were even better. Let's talk about long-term consequences of waiting for the market to drop. So I have a lot of people that I talk to, friends, family, people you meet, they know you're in real estate, and they're like, I had the chance to buy this property 5 years ago, and now it's twice as much, or 3 times as much, or it's gone up 30% in the last 2 years. So a lot of people that are waiting for the perfect deal or the perfect match are actually outpricing themselves in the real estate market. And I always feel bad about, people that are not willing to take action. I'm not saying taking action without information, but if you can afford buying a property and it makes sense for your life, it might not, and then you should not. But if you want to gain equity, 90% of millionaires have made their money in real estate. It's a famous quote. Is it 100% accurate? I don't know, but I've seen firsthand a lot of people make a lot of money. Actually, we had a client, I think 1 or 2 years ago, that bought a property for 1.8, lived in it, did nothing. 4 years later, he sold it for 2.8. So he made $1 million living in 4 years in a great area with a pool, with a rooftop. And I want to be that person. So procrastination might lead to missed opportunities. I think the third, part of this, talking about the biggest mistakes that buyers are going to do in 24 is, balancing patience and opportunity. So as I told you, I think it's a good time to buy if you find the right property. That being said, you have to work with somebody that looks at the data very carefully and make sure it's a good investment long term. Look at the appreciation in the past years and what are we thinking about that area? What's going to happen? How can that improve? So be open. That's my best advice. Be open. Don't sit around the sidelines and be negative. Be open, and also think about lifestyle. I know for a fact, living in a home that I love improves the quality of my life so much. And that's not, let's forget about the financials for once, gaining equity, all of those positive aspects. But let's just talk about lifestyle. We all work hard. We want to have a good life. We want to enjoy life. We want to be able to cook a good meal for our friends and family and eat, in our backyard, or have, a nice drink or glass of wine or coffee on our balcony or patio, or watch a movie in our, beautiful living room, and, just enjoy a shower, like a shower where you love taking a shower, for example, So I think lifestyle is also one very, very important factor to consider. And, you only live once. So why not? If you can afford living in a beautiful place and the numbers make sense, why not explore it? Why not go on that adventure of, seeking something better? So what are you going to do with this information? I recently read a book by Patrick Bet-David called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. It's about business planning. But one of the things that he shared, which I think is a great kind of quote, and Tony Robbins have also spoken about this several times, and that is, when you receive new information, what are you going to do with that? And how fast are you going to act? And people that are successful in life, when they receive good information, they act fast. And, what I mean with acting fast, it's not like go out and buy a house tomorrow. It's go out and explore. And right now, you don't have to do anything. You can go to some open houses. You can give me a call and we can go and see some homes, or just talk about the market or what you're trying to do. I'm happy to, interview and earn your business. But overall, there's nothing better for me when I meet people that have made good investments that, number one, increases the quality of their life, but also gain them, financial freedom. So I think this was the first episode of, Black Belt in Real Estate, season 3, and more of them are going to come. I hope you enjoyed my conversation. I'm going to keep sharing more and more episodes, and I'm going to keep helping you get better results when it comes to real estate. If you have any questions, concerns, you want to talk, please reach out to me. Other than that, have an amazing year. I hope you're happy. I hope you're going to enjoy, and I hope to see you one day. Take care and bye-bye.